We are going to go ahead and get started. Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
One more time. Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Welcome, everyone. We are so fired up to be here today to deliver this message and this petition to Congress. My name is Alexandra Flores-Quilty. I'm the campaign director of Free Speech for People. We are a national, nonpartisan, nonprofit dedicated to strengthening our democracy. And we're so thrilled to be here today with Women's March, our partner in this fight, to deliver this message and this nearly 1 million petition signatures today. We're here on behalf of all the people across the country who are calling on Congress to do their job and impeach and remove Trump for his grave abuses of power and impeachable offenses. Nearly 1 million people have signed the petition calling on Congress to impeach and remove President Donald Trump. And so we are here today to deliver that message and these nearly 1 million petition signatures to Congress. Today we're going to have a press conference featuring our brave champion within Congress, Congressman Al Green, who we're thrilled to be standing here with, and we're thrilled to be supporting his leadership. We will also be hearing leading experts on this issue who have been championing the fight. After the press conference, we will be heading over to the Rayburn Congressional Building to deliver this petition in person to the House Judiciary Committee leadership. So Congressman Jim Jordan, the chair of the House Judiciary Committee, and Ranking Member Jamie Raskin. Press are welcome to join us for that peaceful petition delivery over at the Rayburn office following the press conference. But without further ado, I would like to turn it over to Congressman Al Green, who has been a champion in defending our democracy, and holding Donald Trump accountable. Please welcome Congressman Al Green.
Thank you. If I may, I'd like to give an expression of appreciation to Alexandra. Her name means helper of humankind, and I think she's living up to her name. Would you give her a big expression of appreciation? Thank you. Standing next to her is a very dear friend, Jessica, and she is with the Removal Coalition, and I think that's an appropriate name for the appropriate action that we'll be taking. Would you give her a hand, please? And standing next to her is John Bonifaz. He is not a sometime constitutional scholar. That means that only when you have the votes would you become a constitutional scholar. It's only unconstitutional if you have the votes to take it before the Congress and then win. No, he's a full-time constitutional scholar, not a part-time constitutional scholar. He is there when you need him, and I have needed him. He has helped me with articles of impeachment. So would you give the full-time constitutional scholar, John Bonifaz, a big expression? And of course, he is with Free Speech for People. I can't think of a better thing to have in this country than free speech. I think Free Speech for People should have a big expression of appreciation. Free Speech for People. And now, friends, this world would not be this world without women. And I'm proud to know that the Women's March is associated with this endeavor. They have brought integrity. They have brought a sense of justice and righteousness to the cause. Give them a hand, please. Now, let me say this, and I will be as terse as possible, but I won't be overly brief. We have a president who has been in the business of devolving American democracy into authoritarianism. This president, Donald John Trump, was at one time, by and through his behavior as president, a threat to democracy. What he started out with as a threat to democracy has become, in the 6 months that he has been in office, an assault on democracy. His assault on democracy is evident when he defies court orders, when he says that judges who differ with him ought to be impeached rather than appeal the decision of those courts, just as the Chief Justice informed him that he must do. He's devolving democracy into authoritarianism and autocracy when he decides that the Fifth Amendment that notion that everybody's entitled to due process, that doesn't apply to everyone in this country. This president is devolving our democracy into an autocracy, into authoritarianism, when he refuses to honor the separation of powers. But I thank the God above that there's a Constitution, and that in that Constitution there is a remedy for a renegade president. And that remedy is impeachment. The Constitution says that we can do what we have done and what we will do again. We have one article that is currently on file, articles on file. I call them the sword of democracy, similar to the sword of Damocles. They are there over his head. And at some point, we will drop this sword of democracy, not to harm him physically. This is not about his physicality, but to harm him as it relates to what he's doing to our country. Then we can impeach him with these articles. But there's also a set of articles that I have not presented that I will be presenting. This is not the last time. We're not going to make this a one-off. This is as long as he breaches the Constitution, this will be our effort, all of us here, and the more than 900,000, nearly 1 million people who have signed on to this petition. We are together. So I am going to do what I can to make sure that impeachment is called to the attention of the Congress of the United States over there in the House, in the chamber where I speak on the floor. And we are doing out here with these great organizations and great people to make sure that we are heard such that the people in this country will know that we will not tolerate an authoritarian president who is devolving our democracy into an autocracy, and he is now becoming the authoritarian president. I said becoming, I think he is an authoritarian president. He is. I want to thank you all. I especially want to thank the press, because people need to know that there are not just some people who think that this is wrong. There are some people who are acting to correct the wrong. And that's what Free Speech for People is doing. That's what the people that are represented with Jessica, the removal of coalition, the removal coalition, and of course, that is what the Women's March is doing. Thank you one and all. When I say impeachment, you say now. Impeach!
Now!
Impeach!
Now!
Who?
Trump!
Who?
Trump!
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Congressman Green, for being with us here today. Thank you for defending the U.S. Constitution. Thank you for recently forcing the first floor vote for impeachment of Trump in his second term in office. We're so grateful for your leadership in Congress in this critical time for our democracy, and history will show how powerful and important your leadership has been at this point in time. I'd now like to invite John Bonifaz, who is the president of Free Speech for People.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Congressman Green, for your courage and your leadership. We are honored to work with you. You are a true champion for our democracy. And thank you to the 78 members of Congress who voted with Congressman Green to advance his articles of impeachment just a few weeks ago. We're here today to demand that all members of Congress abide by their oath to protect and defend the Constitution and to initiate impeachment proceedings against Donald Trump. The framers were clear. The framers were clear. There would be no monarchs, no tyrants to govern our nation, no kings in America. They set out in the Constitution 3 co-equal branches of government. Article 1 for the United States Congress, Article 2 for the presidency, and Article 3 for the judiciary. 3 co-equal branches of government. No kings in America. But they set up an extra guardrail to deal with that day when a president would so trample on the Constitution, so trample on the rule of law, that president would need to be held accountable via the impeachment process. It's Section 4 of Article 2, the impeachment clause. Donald Trump has committed multiple abuses of power, multiple impeachable offenses. And we have documented these offenses at impeachTrumpAgain.org. Disappearing people from the streets and sending them to foreign torture prisons, an abuse of power, an impeachable offense. Illegally kidnapping, detaining, and removing U.S. residents, an abuse of power, an impeachable offense. Mobilizing the United States military against civilian protesters, attacking the First Amendment, an abuse of power, an impeachable offense. Attacking the United States Congress when it duly authorizes funds that they have appropriated, freezing those funds, an abuse of power, an impeachable offense. Attacking the United States judiciary, defying multiple court orders issued by federal courts all across the country, an abuse of power, an impeachable offense. Pardoning 1,500 of his fellow insurrectionists for the insurrection that he incited on January 6, 2021 to stop the peaceful transfer of power, an abuse of power, an impeachable offense. Engaging in rampant corruption, violating the foreign and domestic emoluments clauses, treating the Oval Office as a profit-making enterprise at the public expense, an abuse of power, an impeachable offense. The list goes on. And as I said, we have documented in detail at impeachtrumpagain.org these and other grounds for impeachment. For those who say the time is not now to talk about impeachment, we have three responses. Number one, we either have a constitution or we don't.
That's right.
We either have an impeachment clause or we don't.
That's right.
If we do not invoke the impeachment power at this critical hour for our nation, then we might as well say we're giving up on the Constitution. We refuse to give up on the United States Constitution. Number two, we normalize these actions by Donald Trump when we do not name them for what they are: high crimes against the state, abuses of power, impeachable offenses. We will not normalize this conduct.
Yes.
And number three, members of Congress take the very same oath that Donald Trump took on January 20th, 2025 to protect and defend the Constitution. They have a duty to abide by that oath, to stand up for our Constitution, and to initiate impeachment proceedings against this lawless president. So we have a message today for Donald Trump. We are not afraid of you.
No, no, no.
You are a lawless, wannabe dictator. You have committed high crimes against the state. We will hold you accountable. You must be impeached and removed from public office. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John, for those incredible remarks and your incredible leadership. And I want to also thank the amazing legal team of constitutional lawyers at Free Speech for People who have been working around the clock, literally around the clock, tracking all of Trump's impeachable offenses. And you can read their case for impeachment and the articles of impeachment they've outlined at impeachtrumpagain.org. I'd now like to invite someone who's been a vocal, incredible leader on the issue of impeachment and removal and defending our democracy, and that is Jessica Denson. Welcome.
All right, Jessica. Yay.
Thank you, Alexandra, and thank you, Congressman Green and John Bonifaz. What an extraordinary group of leaders you have for this impeachment movement. You know what? There's only a few of us here today and a few media, and thank you for being here, but this should be what the whole country is talking about. What is wrong with any network, anyone with a media platform whose right to have free speech in this country is given by our Constitution, who is not having conversations about the daily violations of our Constitution and what we can do about it on a daily basis? This should be what everybody in this country is talking about: how to impeach and remove a lawless tyrant wannabe squatting in our White House, an illegal president in violation of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. You know, a lot of people in this building behind us want to say, wait for the midterms. Wait till we have the votes. Their job is not to honor the Constitution and uphold their oath when they have the votes. It is to do it every single day. And you know, I find it particularly ironic that the people that are telling you to wait are working in a building that came under siege 4 years ago, when Donald Trump refused to leave office peacefully when the people wanted him out. I believe that the question of Donald Trump peacefully transitioning out of power in 2028 is not something that we can expect. It is not a question of if Donald Trump refuses to peacefully leave office, but when. But when. And then that brings us back to the question of what are you doing now to stop that? What are you doing? Are you willing to? We are not asking you. A lot of them are out there complaining about their constituents wanting them to get arrested, their constituents wanting them to get hurt. We're not asking for any of that. We're simply asking you to do your job, to uphold your oath, to file an article of impeachment like Representative Green, to force a vote on the floor of the House of Representatives that anyone, including any member of the minority in this body, has the authority to do under the special privileges bestowed upon them with impeachment. What are they doing if they are not doing this now? You know, at the trials in Nuremberg, after the atrocities of the Holocaust, so many people said, I was just doing my job. I was just doing my job. I was here in this building a week ago going through a routine walkthrough with the folks over at Flair who are also advocating for impeachment and removal. And we went and talked to Republican and Democratic staffers. And I spoke to some Republican staffers about that moment that they are living through right now that they might not realize, but is going to come back to haunt them when we realize the moment that we've missed. This is the moment of decision. Every single day, damage is being done that is going to take generations to reverse. We do not have the luxury to wait. We must act to impeach and remove this man now.
Yes. Yes.
I just want to say one final thing. As Alexandra was giving the introduction about the Women's March, I had a thought, and I haven't talked about this in a while, but you know, 8 years ago, 9 maybe, I was flying on a plane with Donald Trump on his campaign. I worked with that man. I had an unthinkable, horrific, terrorizing experience on that campaign. Wanted to walk away, learn my own lessons, say, Jessica, learn from your own mistakes, move on with your life. And a year later, I realized I couldn't do that. I couldn't live with myself watching that injustice in my own life, as little as I thought I mattered to others. I had to stand out, speak out, and take action. It wasn't a political decision. You know what it was? It was a decision that had to do with a woman's worth. With a woman's worth. It was about my own soul, my own identity, my own meaning in this world. I had that spiritual awakening 8 years ago. But I will tell you, sooner or later, that awakening is coming for every single one of these people in this building. Make the decision now. Wake up now. We all here, I tell this to my friends that are still entrapped in the miasma of MAGA, in the brainwashing. We're not your enemies. We're your friends. Just look at how Donald Trump is disrespecting his supporters now who have wanted for years those Epstein files to be released. And he treats them like fools and acts like they're just going to forget about it. We are your friends. We are trying to wake you up as a country. Everybody trying to remove this tyrant from office is trying to save all of us from the damage that he is doing, maybe not to you right now, but to you tomorrow. The day will come when it will touch you personally, and it is going to be a very painful awakening when that happens. So please, join us, amplify this. That's why I formed the Removal Coalition. Everybody should be having this conversation every single day. Demand when you go to a protest that Donald Trump be impeached and removed. Support Representative Al Green. Sign Free Speech for People's petition. Demand that the media and the lawmakers have this conversation and take action now.
Now.
Thank you very much, and thank you again so much to this extraordinary group that's joined us here today.
Thank you so much, Jessica, for your incredible leadership and your important voice on this issue and fight. I'd like to just take a moment to read off the 19 articles of impeachment, the 19 abuses of power that Donald Trump has committed. Number 1, unconstitutionally usurping Congress's power to declare war. Number 2, unlawful mobilization of military forces against civilian protesters in the United States. Number 3, illegal kidnapping, detention, and removal of U.S. residents. Number 4, illegal and unconstitutional removal of U.S. residents, migrants, and asylum-seekers to foreign torture prisons. Number 5, unlawfully attempting to deport immigrants for peacefully protesting. Number 6, unconstitutionally usurping Congress's powers. Number 7, defying court orders and unconstitutionally usurping judicial authority. Number 8, abusing his power to seek retribution against perceived adversaries. Number 9, co-opting and dismantling independent government oversight. Number 10, unlawful imposition of tariffs. Number 11, receiving foreign and domestic emoluments. Number 12, unconstitutionally usurping local and state authority. Number 13, abusing the emergency power. Number 14, abusing the pardon power. Number 15, corruptly dismissing criminal charges against Eric Adams. Number 16, depriving citizens of their birthright. Number 17, blocking efforts to secure U.S. elections. Number 18, planning the forced removal of Palestinians from Gaza. Number 19, engaging in unlawful, corrupt practices during the 2024 presidential campaign. These are the assaults on our Constitution and democracy that we are facing. There is no question that Donald Trump has violated his oath of office and is undermining democracy. We have to act now. We would like now to present nearly 1 million petition signatures from Americans from across the country who are calling on Congress to hold Trump accountable for these 19 violations of the U.S. Constitution. And so we would now like to present these petition signatures to Congressman Al Green on behalf of the American people. We now have some time for questions and answers with the press. So if you have any questions, our speakers today are available to answer for members of the press. Yes, ma'am.
Congressman, can you talk about why your leadership isn't as excited about this, even though they tend to say the same things that you said on the floor and right now, but you're not getting a lot of buy-in from Democratic leadership? Can you talk about that?
Well, I happen to think that they're the best persons to answer that question. I can tell you this, that the American people are excited, as evidenced by this nearly 1 million signatures. And I can also tell you that the people who may not be excited now, they will become excited as we proceed with this process. If you recall, the last time we did this, we introduced 3 articles of impeachment, and then we started the process of impeaching such that he would have articles sent to the Senate. So you have to lay the foundation. This is the foundation. These people are laying the foundation, and I assure you that these opinions are going to change. It's just a matter of time. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It'll also be for Congressman Green. Lately, the Democrats' messaging has been very focused on Epstein and the reconciliation bill. Do you think that focusing on impeachment files is productive for your party's messaging right now, going into recess?
I think focusing on impeachment is productive whenever there's a breach of the Constitution. The timing, the time is not associated with when you have a majority in the House. It's not associated when it feels good. It is always good to impeach when a president violates the Constitution. It really is that simple. You can't be a part-time constitutional scholar. You've got to be a John Bonifaz, full-time, all the time constitutional scholar, willing to stand on the Constitution even if you have to stand alone. That's where we stand. We stand whether we have to stand with the members or stand alone in the well of the House and still bring those articles of impeachment. And by the way, there will be additional articles of impeachment filed. Now, you mentioned another issue. Congress does multiple things at the same time all the time. There is nothing unique about this point in history. Do the other things, but do this thing too. And my Republican colleagues have to understand that these comments are not just directed at those on the Democratic side who don't vote with us. They are directed at them too. They have a responsibility to the Constitution, not fealty to Donald Trump. And they've got to exercise that loyalty to the Constitution.
Any other questions from the press? Yes.
This is for the congressman. So with the House closing early today and entering recess early, how does this affect the timeline of everything?
I did not anticipate leaving a day early. But one day does not impact what we're doing. We are going to continue. We're at nearly 1 million now. I'm not going to speak for the organizations. I'm going to say this. I see the momentum building. I will let them give you timelines, that sort of thing. But I see the momentum building. And I prognosticate that while we are away, this number will approach and reach, this is my prognostication, over the 1 million mark. I think we're headed there. I want you to know this. This is what's important. President Trump is a Goliath. He has military might. He has persons who are loyal to him in the military, in the judiciary, and in the Congress. But for every Goliath, there is a David. But in this case, we have nearly 1 million Davids. 1 million Davids willing to take on and challenge the president for his unconstitutional behavior. And I say to you that this number is growing. It will be larger when we get back. One day doesn't make a difference.
Any other questions from the press? Okay. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. I'd like to, actually just building off of that last question, Congressman Green said that I'll leave it to the organizations to share about what's next in the timeline. As all of our members in the House head back to their districts, I guess a day early, to go back home, and they will be home through all of August, they will now be facing their constituents, especially after the vote that took place a few weeks ago, where all of them were forced to be on the record of whether or not they were going to hold Donald Trump accountable for his violations of the Constitution. And so all of those that voted not in support of holding him accountable will have to face their constituents. And the one thing that everyone can do today, so everyone who's tuning in from the live stream, hello, thank you for tuning in. We have a digital town hall that's happening next week, Thursday, July 31st, that Women's March and Free Speech for People are co-hosting. And on this call, you will get a chance to hear from Congressman Al Green once again about the case and the need for impeachment. And you will also hear from our organizations, Free Speech for People and Women's March, about how you can take action to actually put pressure on your member of Congress about impeachment while they are home in district at the August recess. And so I would say for timeline that you all should expect that members are going to be hearing from their constituents about the need to actually uphold the Constitution and for them to do their jobs. We are now going to conclude the press conference. Women's March and Free Speech for People will now be heading over to deliver this petition of nearly 1 million signatures over to Congressman Jim Jordan and Congressman Jamie Raskin, who are the leadership of the House Judiciary Committee. Press are welcome to come with us over to the Rayburn building following this press conference. But thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you Women's March and the incredible leaders who came here today, everyday Americans who joined to be able to deliver this message to Congress. And thank you to everyone tuning in from across the country. And with that, I'd just like to end with, show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Thank you.
Thank you.